we're looking for a balance of what we would call, what bakers would call elasticity and extensibility. And if you think of a rubber band, which gluten behaves like that, how hard is it to stretch that rubber band? Well, that's the elasticity. And how far does that rubber band stretch before it breaks? And that's the extensibility. And there are all kinds of things, including variety selection and crop year and milling methods, that come together to create that balance of gluten and gliadin. And there's a whole battery of tests that you can run flour through to find out the quantity, or you can do bake tests and see how it works out. But I baked some bread last week, and of course, then we get into the bakery, and there are all kinds of things that the baker can do to influence to favor the extensibility or the elasticity, depending on what the goals are. We, as bakers, tend to, I prefer to see what we call a crumb structure, the interior that has an uneven, a variety of small and larger holes, which really comes from a wheat that has a certain amount of extensibility. Also, we need to hydrate the bread properly, put enough water into it so that it will have that extensibility. But then, as we do that, that's at the expense of reducing elasticity, and so we'll get a loaf that might not be completely saleable and meet our most customers' criteria of what is an attractive loaf of bread. So when I baked this last week, I was really pleased with what we got on the inside, but because it wasn't as elastic, it didn't have that strength, it spread a little bit and more than I would like to see in the oven. So yesterday I reduced the amount of water in the recipe. These are both naturally leavened breads, just flour, water, and salt, and a natural culture. And I got a profile that I would consider what I'm looking for, at the expense somewhat of the crumb structure. So, but as I say, we're miles ahead of where we were even last year in terms of the quality of the wheat that we're using. And there's a whole lot that we haven't discussed in regards to milling, and Ben is about to set himself up with a system that will not only just stone mill the wheat, which is what he's been doing the entire time, but start to sift a certain amount of the bran out of the flour. And it's the bran that has a cutting effect on the gluten. I mean, whole wheat is a wonderful thing. Whole wheat bread is a wonderful thing to work with, but because of the bran in there, we really need to see, if we're using a significant quantity of whole wheat in a bread, we need to see an excellent quality wheat to be able to withstand the cutting effect of the bran. So taking some percentage of that bran off is a really nice thing to do. And in stone milling, as opposed to roller milling, which is how white flour is made on a large scale, stone milling, for one thing, is affordable, is properly scaled to an operation like Ben's or any farmer that's growing in Vermont. And then the other thing is that the germ, which has the oils and a tremendous amount of nutrients, gets pulverized along with the endosperm, which has the starch and protein. And then the bran can be sifted off to a greater or lesser degree. So we're about to see some exciting results from Ben's new operation, which will, I think, give us a kind of a flour that we don't really even see in the marketplace. And I guess just to wrap this up, I think that's where that's really exciting to me, because I don't think Vermont farmers are going to in the long run succeed in competing with the commodity system. Much larger growers out in the Midwest who are selling wheat to roller mills. And Ben's told me a lot that it doesn't work for him business-wise to sell just wheat. He needs to add the value by milling it. And we want to be able to, as bakers, we can sell a bread that we can say is special, is different than bread that might be produced from flour that was sourced elsewhere. If it's really a truly unique flour, and this is an old style of milling that really predates the roller milling, which was started in the roller mills were invented in 1880 or so, and of course now are the predominant way of milling flour. But previous to that, flour was all stone milled, and these big stones that some of you see as entryways into your door or tables in your yard, used to be all over the place. So I'm hopeful that we're bringing some of that back. I brought some samples here that you can look at. I'll put them in order of wholeness, I guess. 3 different types of flour. The one on your left is Ben's whole wheat, and the one in the middle is a sifted flour that actually comes from a mill in Kansas, but it's stone milled and sifted, similar to the process that I was talking about. And you'll see that it's really not that much lighter than the whole wheat, but you'll see the bran flecks more clearly in Ben's. They're larger and there are a few more of them. And just taking out that much bran makes a big difference in what we can do as bakers with the flour. It makes it just a little easier to handle and makes it a little more versatile. And then we have a roller milled white flour that was made from wheat grown in Vermont last year on Aurora Farms and was milled over at Champlain Valley Mills across the lake. But that's, we're getting down to something where 30% of what was there originally in the wheat berry is chucked out, sent away as feed. We use that in a bread that is made with 100% Vermont wheat, which we're really excited about. But I think in the long run, this doesn't add as much value as I think the local farmers really need to get. So.